Good morning, everyone. My name is Joel Ajay, and I'm the leader for this group. So, today our group will be exploring the topic of materialism versus idealism in understanding reality. At its core, this debate asks a fundamental question: what is truly real? Is reality primarily made up of physical matter and energy, or is it rooted in consciousness and ideas? Materialism argues that physical matter is primary reality. So, from this perspective, everything, including your thoughts, your emotions, and consciousness, can ultimately be explained through physical processes in the brain. So, in other words, the mind depends on the body, and if the physical brain ceases to exist and function, the mind also ceases to exist. This view strongly influences the modern field of medicine, engineering, and economics. On the other hand, idealism proposes that consciousness and ideas are the foundation of reality. According to this perspective, the material world is not independent, but it's instead shaped and constructed by the mind. Here, the brain is seen as a bridge to mental experience rather than the source of it. Idealism has had significant influence in areas such as ethics, art, and spiritual thought. So in this presentation, we will compare and these two perspectives, examine their key differences, and discuss how they shape our understanding of reality today. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lavinia, and today I'll be presenting the first half of our background of study. So to start off, it is important to understand the field of ontology, which can be defined as a branch of philosophy that studies the nature of existence and reality. Ontology focuses on questions such as what it means for something to exist and what kinds of things make up reality. Now, moving on to the concept of reality, it refers to the true nature of being. Now, there are two major perspectives in this debate, which are materialism and idealism. So materialism argues that everything in the universe is fundamentally physical, meaning that all phenomena, including thoughts and consciousness, can ultimately be explained through matter and physical processes. Within materialism, there are two different approaches, which are called reductive materialism and eliminative materialism. Reductive materialism accepts that thoughts and feelings are real, but argues that they can be explained entirely through physical processes that occur in the brain. Eliminative materialism, on the other hand, suggests that concepts such as beliefs and emotions may not truly exist and may eventually be replaced by scientific explanations based on neurological processes. Finally, the materialist perspective relies heavily on empirical evidence, meaning knowledge that is gained through observation, measurement, and also scientific investigation.
Hello, Doctor. My name is Daniela, and I'll be talking about the second part of the background of the study. So I'll explain about the idealist view, which is also known as the mentalist path. The core idea of idealism is that reality is fundamentally mental or spiritual. This means that the mind, consciousness, or ideas are more basic than physical matter. In other words, reality is shaped by the mind, not just solely by physical objects. For example, Plato believed in the theory of forms. He argued that the physical world we see is only a shadow of perfect and eternal forms or ideas. So what we see basically around us is not the ultimate reality, rather it's the true reality that exists at a different level, a level of ideas. Another philosopher, going by the name of George Berkeley, believed that objects only exist when they are perceived. So his famous idea was, to be is to be perceived. This means that without a mind to observe something, it does not truly exist. So overall, idealism prioritizes human experience, morality, and also consciousness over physical matter. It sees the mind as the foundation of reality. And that's all from my part. I'll be moving it on to the next person.
Hi, good day. My name is Shamita Maya Lorraine, and I'll explain about the problem statement we face in understanding reality from a materialist and idealist perspective. Now, as we know, materialists believe in things that are visible or able to be felt. And this could be, let's say, our food, things that sustain us when we eat, or it could be the gadgets that we use, our telephones, our laptop, our tablet. Now, on the other hand, idealists believe in the things that gives us feeling. So they truly depend on the mind and the spirit. They believe there is a higher entity or a creator that created everything for us with meaning. So a common question is, gravity. What is gravity under? And through studying it, we've come to understand that gravity actually falls under the category of materialistic perspective. And you may ask why. It is because gravity is explainable and it's able to be felt through scientific experiment and mathematical prediction. The main problem is if everyone has a materialistic mindset, then the self-centeredness among humans will grow and everyone will only focus on things that benefit them. Whereas if everyone focus on the mind or the spirit, everyone would act upon their feelings and there will be a surge or a jump in the unpredictability of what will happen in the physical world. In order to truly understand reality, we need a balance of both. And that's all from me. I'll be handing my time to the next person. Bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Dia Al-Munajid, and today we will discuss the basic questions. What's the foundations of reality? Materialisms and idealisms give two different answers for these questions. First, materialisms agree that the physical matters is the starting point of everything. According to the view, the universe is made of atoms, energy, and physical forces. Everything that exists, including human, is the part of this physical system. Thoughts, emotions, and even consciousness are seen a result of the brain activity. Materialisms also believe that the reality exists independently of us. The universe follows natural law whether or not everyone is observing it. For example, if no human were alive, mountains, oceans, planet will still exist. Scientific evidence supports this idea, especially in neuroscience. When part of the brain is damaged, personality and memory can change. This gives the idea that the mental state depends on physical structure. On the other hand, idealism gives different answer. Idealism argues that mind or consciousness is the foundation of reality. According to this view, everything we know about this world comes through perceptions and awareness. We do not experience the matter directly, however, we experience the color, the sound, and the touch. So the key difference is simple. Materialism say the matter comes first and the minds come from the matter. Idealism say minds come first and matters depend on the mind. This difference forms the foundation of their disagreements about the reality. Thank you so much.
Good morning everyone, my name is Goshen and now we're moving on to point 2, where we're dividing into the idealist foundation. While most of us are taught to believe that atoms and physical objects are the building blocks of reality, idealism flips that script entirely. It argues that consciousness, not matter, is the fundamental stuff of the universe. In this view, thoughts and experiences aren't just things that happen inside our heads. They are the very fabric of everything that we know. Consider the phrase mind over matter. We often think that we are interacting with a solid physical world, but if we look closer, we realize we've never actually experienced matter directly. What we experience are sensations. The vibration of sound in our ears, the reflection of light in our eyes, or the resistance of surface against our skin. These are all processed by the mind. Now this brings us to what philosophers call the hard problem of consciousness. Modern science is incredibly good at explaining how the light hits the retina or how neurons fire, but it fails to explain why. Why do we subjectively feel the richness of the color red? Why does music evoke emotion within us? Subjective experience is fundamentally driven from physical atoms. You can't weight a thought or measure a feeling of joy with a ruler, because these experiences can't be reduced to physical particles. Idealists argue that they must belong to a different category altogether. That's it from me. Thank you.
My name is Ng Yong Jin. Today, I'm going to be explaining about main point 3. If you look at it through the lens of materialism, the answer is the physical base. This means society is built entirely on tangible things: food, money, technology, and geography. Take the internet as a perfect example. The materialist would say it isn't some abstract idea that changed us. Instead, It was the physical infrastructure, the literal cables and servers, that forced us to redefine privacy and friendship. The physical tool created the human behavior, not the other way around. This is why materialists argue that if you want to understand why a country goes to war or changes its legal system, you shouldn't look at their speeches. You should follow the resources like land, oil, or capital. But an idealist would say that this perspective is completely backwards. They believe in the architect mind, the theory that the idea always comes first. They will argue that a factory or a high-tech computer is really just a pile of stuff until a human has the creative vision and the idea to build it. In his view, the world is built out of mental construct. For the idealist, the mind is the designer, and the physical world is simply the clay that follows the design. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Nailo and I will explain about main point number 4, which is materialist and idealist view. First one, materialists believe that universe is made of a physical stuff. If we zoom far enough, we will find the tiny particles and forces working like a machine. And the world exists on its own. Gravity works whether we're watching or not. But idealists question that idea. In quantum physics, particles can behave differently when they are observed. This is known as the observer effect. It makes reality seem less solid than we think. This connects to simulation theory. In a video game, objects only appear when the player looks at them. Some people argue our universe might be similar, not made of a solid matter, but of an information or code. In that view, reality depends on perception.
Hello everyone, my name is Shamim Heshmati Manesh, and I'm here to explain the evaluation part. So, what is the nature of reality? Is it matter or is it mind? The debate between materialism and idealism isn't just abstract philosophy, it's about what we think is most real. So materialism claims everything is physical, your thoughts, memories, and emotions. Just neurons firing. It's clean and scientific. But reducing a complex feeling like love to a hormonal release can feel strongly incomplete. It misses the actual feeling of the experience. Then there is idealism, which argues that reality starts with the mind. So both sides, in my opinion, capture a truth. Materialism explains the structure and mechanics of the universe, while idealism explains interpretation and meaning. So perhaps the debate isn't about choosing sides, but accepting the mind and matter are deeply entangled. That one was my part. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Abigail and I will be talking about the analysis and discussion. In this section, I want to bring both perspectives together by looking at their strengths and weaknesses. Materialism explains the stability and predictability of our world. It supports scientific progress and shows that physical structures like the brain are necessary for experience. If the brain changes, our experience changes. That's strong evidence that matter plays a fundamental role. Idealism, however, explains meaning and value. Physical objects don't have significance of their own. Money, art, or even language only matter because a mind interprets them. Idealism reminds us that reality is not just physical, but also experience. But both extremes fall short. Pure materialism can be too reductive, ignoring the subjective feeling of consciousness. Pure idealism risks too much subjectivity and struggles to explain why natural laws remain consistent.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and I will be concluding everything my group members have stated previously about materialism and idealism. So from what we gathered, materialism and idealism both offer two strong yet distinctive views on the nature of reality. Materialism argues that matter comes first. It suggests that consciousness, thoughts, and emotions come from the physical processes of the brain, and this is actually backed up by scientific evidence. Idealism, on the other hand, suggests that consciousness is fundamental, emphasizing on our personal experiences and the role of beliefs and values in shaping our society. When we compare the two, we conclude that neither position offers a full explanation of reality. Materialism just clarifies how the physical world functions, while idealism explains the meaning and power of ideas, where we understand both the necessity of physical evidence as well as recognize the mind's essential role in how reality is actually perceived and experienced. Thank you.